There's one spot on her back that flips her attraction switch during a hug, and 90% of guys are hugging her completely wrong. Stay till the end, because once you know this spot, you'll never hug the same way again. Most guys hug like they're trying to survive it. Stiff arms, quick pat, already thinking about letting go before it even starts. And that right there's the whole problem, because a hug is actually one of the fastest ways to send a signal straight to someone's nervous system without saying a single word. When you hug her and rest your hand flat between her shoulder blades instead of patting her back like she's a body from the gym, something shifts immediately. That flat steel palm says, I'm not nervous, I'm not rushing, I'm right here, and her body picks up on that safety signal way faster than her brain does. This is why some hugs feel like nothing and other hugs make her replay them in her head hours later. It's not about how long the hug lasts. It's about what your hands are actually communicating while it's happening. Here's the psychology behind why this one spot works so well. The upper back between the shoulder blades is loaded with nerve endings connected to the parasympathetic nervous system, which is basically your body's chill switch. A steady, warm hand there tells her nervous system to downshift out of alert mode and into safety mode. And when a woman feels physically safe with you, attraction has actual room to grow. This is the same reason a firm, grounding touch calms a crying baby or steadies someone having a panic attack. Pressure in that zone literally lowers cortisol and heart rate. So when you hug her with intention there, instead of just going through the motions, you're not just being affectionate, you're chemically helping her body relax around you. And relaxed bodies build trust way faster than tense ones do. Now let's talk about timing, because most men get this part right too. They hug fast and pull away fast, like the hug is a task to check off the list. The magic actually happens in the extra 1 or 2 seconds. Most guys skip that beat right after the initial squeeze, where you don't pull back immediately. You just stay present. That small pause is what separates a polite greeting from a hug that actually lands emotionally, because it forces both of you to be in the moment instead of rushing to the next thing. Women notice there's a pause even if they can't explain why it felt different. They just walk away thinking that felt nice without fully knowing it. With the extra 2 seconds of stillness that did it, not anything you said. If this is already changing how you think about touch, hit that like button right now and subscribe, because this channel is where I break down exactly what makes attraction actually work. Pressure matters just as much as placement, and this is where guys either come off confident or come off awkward. too light and it feels like you're barely touching her, almost hesitant, like you're not sure you're allowed to be there. Too firm and it can feel controlling or like you're squeezing the air out of her lungs. The sweet spot is a firm, steady resting pressure, like your hand has a purpose and isn't going anywhere, but it's not gripping her. The kind of touch reads as grounded and self-assured, which is exactly the energy that makes a woman feel like she's hugging a man who knows what he's doing, not a nervous teenager unsure where his hands go. One thing that instantly kills the effect is a hand that's moving around too much, patting her back like you're burping a baby or rubbing in a way that feels uncertain. Stillness is what makes this technique work. Movement makes it feel performative or nervous. Keep the hand still, keep the pressure steady, and let the stillness itself do the communicating. This is honestly one of the simplest shifts you can make, and it works because it removes all the fidgety, unsure energy that most physical affection has when a guy is overthinking it, and instead replaces it with warm, confident presence that she can literally feel under your palm. Be honest, have you been hugging her wrong this whole time? Drop a yes or no in the comments. This spot also works because it avoids the areas that can make a hug feel too forward too fast, like the lower back or the waist, which some women read as presumptuous depending on where things stand between you two. The upper back is a universally safe territory, which means you can use this move in almost any stage of dating or relationship without it feeling like you're pushing a boundary. That's what makes it such a powerful tool. It reads as warm and intentional without ever feeling like you're trying too hard or moving too fast. And that balance is exactly what builds attraction without triggering any alarm bells in her head. Let's talk about how this applies outside of the romantic beginning stages too, because this isn't just a getting the girl trick, it's a relationship habit that keeps intimacy alive. Long-term couples who've been together for years often stop hugging with intention. It becomes robotic, a quick side hug before running out the door, bringing the same flat palm, steady pressure, upper back hug back into a long-term relationship can genuinely reignite a physical connection that's gone stale, because her body still responds to that safety signal even after years together. Physical affection isn't just for the honeymoon phase, it's a maintenance tool for connection that most couples accidentally let disappear. You can also pair this hug technique with a slow exhale on your part, because your own nervous system regulates hers too. This is called co-regulation, and it's a real psychological phenomenon. If you're hugging her while holding tension in your body, she subconsciously feels that tension, but if you relax your shoulders, breathe out slowly, and let your body soften into the hug while your hand stays steady on her upper back, she will physically mirror that calm without even realizing it's happening. This is why some people just feel safe to be around and others feel exhausting to be near. It usually comes down to whether their nervous system is regulated or chaotic, and a hug is one of the fastest ways to transmit that state to someone else. What's one thing your partner does during a hug that instantly makes you feel safe? Tell me in the comments. If you want to take this even further, add a slight inhale near her hair or shoulder without making it weird or obvious. Just a natural, relaxed breath, because scent is deeply tied to memory and attraction on a subconscious level. Combined with the steady hand on her upper back and that extra bit of stillness before pulling away, you're stacking three different signals: safety, presence, and sudden memory triggering scent all at once. This is why this specific hug can feel so different from a random hug with someone else. You're not just being affectionate, you're layering multiple psychological cues that her brain registers as this person is different without her being able to explain exactly why. At the end of the day, attraction isn't built through grand gestures nearly as often as people think. It's built through small, repeated, intentional moments like this one that most people are too rushed or too nervous to actually execute correctly. The next time you hug her, slow down, place your hand flat between her shoulder blades. Hold a steady pressure, breathe out, and let that extra second of stillness happen before you pull away. It sounds simple because it's simple, but simple done with intention is what separates the men who create a real emotional connection from men who are just going through the physical motions without ever making anyone feel anything at all. Drop a green heart in the comments if you've already binged my playlist, and if you haven't, go check them out right now, because everything you need to master attraction is sitting there waiting for you.